The compact crossover from Mercedes Benz is quite respectable. Its problems are understandable and predictable, and the price of their solution is designed for reputable gentlemen. Created primarily for city driving, the GLK has all the qualities of an SUV. The ground clearance is 200 millimeters. The angles of entry/exit are 23 and 25 degrees, respectively. The angle of longitudinal patency is 19 degrees. Thanks to this, the GLK can overcome obstacles with a slope of up to 70%. The maximum lateral tilt angle is 35 degrees. However, there is a downside to the coin. Despite the fact that the model is based on the C-Class wagon platform, the GLK is noticeably inferior to its passenger relatives in terms of smoothness. Gasoline engines with a volume of 3.0 liters on the GLK 280 and GLK 320 and 3.5 liters on the GLK 350 are based on the same V6, the 272nd Mercedes unit. At the beginning of the release, all its modifications, regardless of the volume, had a significant drawback. Already at 100,000 runs, the engine began to run unevenly, gave failures when accelerating the car. A metallic sound appeared when warming up, and the check engine indicator on the dashboard lit up. The cause of such symptoms is the wear of the balance shaft gear and the timing chain stretching. The repair price depends on the degree of neglect of the problem and ranges from 90 to 150,000 rubles, and sometimes more. However, all this applies to cars manufactured in 2008. The manufacturer quickly eliminated the problem, and since 2009, such troubles have not been noted. Otherwise, the dynamic and performance characteristics of gasoline engines cause extremely positive reviews. Diesel engines are represented by a 2-liter GLK 220 CDI, an inline-4 with 2 turbines, and a 3-liter supercharged V6 GLK 350 CDI. Both, of course, with the common rail power system. The units are reliable and moderately whimsical to Russian fuel realities. Moderately, because they do not bring trouble only with strict observance of the regulations for changing the oil and all filters. For example, postponing the expensive, about 150,000 rubles, procedure for replacing a particulate filter, calculated according to the regulations for 200,000 kilometers, you may encounter a serious repair. Periodic overheating of the intake manifolds with a clogged particulate filter leads to delamination of the inner wall of the manifold. Metal particles separated from it injure the turbine blades, which leads to a decrease in the performance of this unit, and subsequently to its complete breakdown. Replacing the turbine and intake manifolds will cost about 120,000 rubles. Plus, of course, the replacement of the particulate filter. By the way, its service life may be reduced if the fuel filter is not replaced in time. It is recommended every 10,000 kilometers, and the use of fuel that does not meet standards. Regardless of the modification, the Mercedes Benz GLK is equipped with a 7-speed automatic transmission with the ability to switch to sport and manual modes. The design of the unit is based on the automatic transmission modification 722, the 9th series. The statistics of failures of this node has a certain number of calls already at runs of 80 to 90,000 kilometers, and by the turn of 150,000 kilometers the volume of complaints grows significantly. The malfunction is manifested by a sudden transition of the automatic transmission to emergency mode. The main reason for the incorrect operation of the unit is the board of the electronic control unit located in the valve body. Repair is carried out by a complete replacement of the valve body or by replacing the board with subsequent flashing. The latter will cost much less, but by no means free. Services ask for about 70,000 rubles for this. Periodic replacement of automatic transmission part numbers and much more rosy statistics for cars manufactured in 2010 and later give hope that the manufacturer has reduced this problem to nothing. For the sake of accuracy, it is worth noting that in nature there are GLKs with a 6-speed manual transmission, but they are extremely rare on the Russian market. Permanent 4-wheel drive is provided by a transfer case assembled in one housing with automatic transmission. It distributes the torque along the axles in a ratio of 45:55. Its main problem is bearing wear, which reaches a critical limit on runs from 150,000 kilometers. It is manifested by an uneven hum when the engine is running under load, the appearance of vibration in corners. Usually 3 bearings are subject to replacement. The issue price is about 40,000 rubles, and the more neglected they are, the more expensive the repair will be, since bearing wear affects the alignment of the internal shafts, which leads to an imbalance in the transfer chain and damage to the housing. Also, parts of worn bearings cause significant damage to the moving parts of the transfer case, up to its complete failure. The cost of replacing this unit at a dealer's service station is more than 300,000 rubles. So try to follow the car maintenance regulations and contact competent specialists. This will allow you to diagnose the problem in a timely manner. Precise handling and a relatively smooth ride. GLK provide independent multi-link suspension on all wheels. The system is reliable. The front levers serve at least 120 to 150,000 kilometers. Their replacement will cost 25,000 rubles. For a couple with work. Often, repairs are limited only to the replacement of a silent block, about 3,000 rubles. Side with work. The front shock absorbers can remind you of themselves after 80,000 kilometers with a grinding noise when cornering. The problem is solved by replacing the bearings of the shock absorber supports. It costs about 10,000 rubles. For a couple with work. At the rear, on runs of more than 100,000 kilometers, floating silent blocks will have to be replaced, paying about 5,000. Rear shock absorbers patiently serve at least 200,000 kilometers. From the point of view of ergonomics, the model has family features: an overloaded steering column switch, a center console full of buttons, but the driver's landing, of course, is close to ideal. The pilot seat is equipped with many electrical adjustments. The dashboard is easy to read and does not irritate with variegation. In the basic configuration, instead of wood veneer on the leather upholstery of the front panel, aluminum decor. The rear seat is wide enough to accommodate 3 adults, but there isn't much legroom. The back door is equipped with a remote control. Trunk volume is average, about 470 liters. Complaints? Some of them are addressed to thresholds that stain clothes when boarding and disembarking passengers and the driver. But the solution suggests itself: you need to keep the car clean.